Hi everybody, I hope you're having a good day and a good start to your week. This is a special edition of Glass Skulls and it's episode 15. Whoop whoop, can't even believe it. 15 whole episodes. Thank you for continuing to listen. It's a special edition because I'm shooting it in my truck. This week is a little crazy for me, and I just wanted to be able to get a chance to make sure I could still do my videos. So here I am, and I shall do just that. Today I have two different sets of lyrics for you. I have one I want to start with and one I want to finish with. And I have a strategy that I'm fairly certain everybody already knows. It's just a matter of talking about it and unpacking it. All right, check it out. This is by Taylor Swift, these words. But you awaken with dread, pounding nails in your head. But I've read this one where you come undone. I chose this cyclone with you, and who's gonna hold you like me? So, for me, when I listen to that song, I think about the person needing the help being the person awakening with dread, pounding nails in your head. But I've read this one where you come undone. I chose this cyclone with you. The word choice, I chose, I feel like makes the whole lyric make sense or not make sense. Because this is letting that person know that, listen, I know you're going through hell. I know you're going through a rough time, and this isn't pretty, and this isn't easy, and this really sucks. But I chose this cyclone with you. I chose to love you. I chose to be your friend. I chose to be your family. I chose to, whatever. You have to just realize, oh, excuse my truck making noises. You just have to realize that there's more people in your corner than you realize, and the most important strategy that I think we'll ever talk about is this one, and it's asking for help. Now, that's something that literally kids are taught in preschool, are learning the right way to ask for something they want or need. So this is something we all should have lots of practice with, right? I'm gonna be 36 this year, and I've made it all the way from pre-K all the way to here. So I've certainly had lots of practice asking for help, but the thing about that is I got to a place in my life where I was making horrible choices specific to my mental health, actually. I had quit all the meds that I was supposed to be taking. And by quit them, I mean I threw them in the garbage. I didn't wean off of them. There are incredibly dangerous things that can happen to you if you do that. So if you are somebody that does not want to be on a medication anymore, please, I beg you, talk with your provider, express that you don't want to take it anymore, whether they don't like it or they like it or whatever whatever they think doesn't matter. Their job is to help you and support you in what you're expressing your needs are. So they might not love it if you're going off the med that they prescribed to you that they think is going to be a big help for you, but it's really not up to them because it's your body. Anywho, I threw out all my meds. I was self-medicating with marijuana and alcohol. And then things really amped, let's say. The last month of my life before I came crashing down on September 4th of 2014. I attempted suicide. I overdosed on a lot of clonazepam. And when I woke up and was in this emergency room, I was like shocked because I genuinely thought like this was it. Like I had said goodbye to everybody. Like I'm gone. I can't do this anymore. I can't suffer for even one more day. And what I ended up learning is the most critical thing that I needed to do in that moment is say, okay, I'm ready to get some help, and ask for help. So, as our strategy of the day, I think asking for help is one of the hardest strategies to use. What gets in the way of that? Well, there's a lot. There are people that you're worried are going to judge you and treat you some type of way because you take a pill or pills. Guess what? I take 14 every single day of my life. 14. And as of next week, it could be 15. I don't like it. I actually hate it. I hate having to take that many pills every single day. But for me and for my symptoms and for my stuff that I struggle with, that cocktail of meds that they made for me is just about right. So I'm very close with my provider. And when I say close, I don't want it to sound like we're like friends or anything like that. Not like that. That's not the type of relationship I'm talking about. I'm talking about like I'm very transparent with her. I let her know if I want to start to wean off of something, even whether she wants me to or not. I tell her I want to be weaned off of something, and she makes the arrangements for me to do so appropriately, so I don't have to worry about things like having a seizure or a litany of other terrible things that can happen to you if you go off meds the wrong way. Stigma is another one that gets in the way. I think there are so many people out there that are suffering in silence, and they would rather continue to suffer alone than to ask for help, because they're worried if they ask for help, they'll get labeled an addict or a scumbag or a crazy person. This list could go on forever. And it hurts my heart thinking about all the people, because I know you're out there. All the people that suffer in silence. But asking for help is hard. It's not as easy as it sounds. Lastly, I would say there's this kind of teeter-totter effect that I'd like to bring attention to. Like something else that gets in the way of people asking for help and getting like the right kind of help is denial, where they are like, I don't have a problem, I don't need help, I don't need medication, there's denial, right? And then there's fear, where sometimes overlaps and is exactly the same thing, because maybe the fear is them acting in denial about the symptoms they're experiencing, because they're scared shitless of the idea of being tagged with bipolar disorder. I'm going to be honest. When I first got diagnosed with bipolar disorder, it was when I was 24 years old. Okay? I never knew that I had that. Never. I had plenty of depression, anxiety, those kind of symptoms, and the functional neurological symptom disorder and the PTSD stuff. Like that was all stuff I was battling from, maybe age 12 on up. But yeah, like bipolar was something I was terrified to be told, like, you have this. And I feel like a hypocrite just because I'm trying to encourage people in this moment, right, to ask for help, and to, I always bring up the stigmas and how you should accept people and, be accepting all this stuff. Let's just say I got diagnosed. I was scared. So there I was, acting out of fear. But despite the fear, and I didn't even deny. Like, it didn't really make sense to me, but I was like, you guys are the professionals. Like, who am I to say? But my fear was what the biggest problem was for me. And I'm so glad that I was scared shitless, but I asked for help anyway. I remember laying in that hospital in the ER saying, I want to go to Four Winds. Four Winds is a psychiatric hospital. The one I attended, it was in Saratoga, New York. I've been there 6 times for 6 different stays in my adult life. And every single time I have left there with nothing but buckets full of new strategies to use to help bring myself to a better place if I'm struggling. I've refreshed the strategies that I've already learned, but I kind of shoved on a shelf, like back in the corner for a while, and needed kind of to brush off the dust and use them again because they're effective. I'm so grateful that I went there. And that was a big piece of what changed my mind about being so afraid about bipolar disorder. I'm not that scary, right? I hope not. I want to read you the last lyrics. And these are from Disney's The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I know, Rogue One, right? And the singers are Tom Hulce and Tony Jay. It says, and out there, living in the sun, give me one day out there. All I ask is one, to hold forever. Out there, where they all live unaware of what I'd give, what I'd dare, just to live one day out there. When I hear these words, and I realize it's a song from a Disney movie, so like, I don't know, some people might be like, yikes, like, this doesn't make sense to me, but to me, when I hear those words, I think about imagining what it would be like to have just one day where I didn't have to be sick anymore. And I can see it in my head. I know exactly what I would do. I know who I would be with. I know who I wouldn't be with. All this stuff. But you have to think about it like every day you are fighting to do things like ask for help as you struggle with symptoms, with mental illness, with not knowing what to do, where to go, what to do next. So I empower you to ask for help. And I want you to know there's no shame in asking for help. None. Not a drop. That's kind of one of my favorite parts about it. There might be people that talk shit and say things like that and say that it's, shameful. Well, shame on them. Like, who cares? you gotta learn how to, I'm working on this in therapy, and it's just something I'm, like, in life I'm working on. I'm doing a better job of being able to just, like, tune out the bullshit and the people that are not worth my time or energy or effort, and just to put all of myself into the people I love, the things I love, the things I'm passionate about, and that's more than enough for me. Always. Well, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon.